Hey guys, K2's Retro Workshop. Today, we're working with this guy. This is a Tektronix 4051 microcomputer. It's the oldest machine that I have in my workshop. It is 1978 is, I believe, the manufacturing date of this particular model. I'm very excited about this machine. There's a lot to get into on this, and we'll go over it as we tear this down and work on it and clean it up and stuff like that, because it doesn't work as it is. Big surprise. This angle's kind of funny because it makes it look like it's a fairly small unit, but the back of this machine is way back here. This is an almost 30-inch long machine. It's huge, and it's huge because of the display tube. The display tube uses electrostatic deflection instead of electromagnetic. It's Tektronix. They basically modified and enlarged their oscilloscope tech to work on the computer. The cool thing about that is this will do high-resolution graphics without the need for a frame buffer. So while we might need a meg of data or more to actually store what this screen can show, this computer doesn't have any frame buffer whatsoever. We write data to the tube, and then we move on. This has 32 kilobytes of RAM. This is actually a maxed out model, having 32 kilobytes of RAM. 300 kilobyte tape drive, which I don't have a tape for, so I can't test that. But there are other options for getting stuff loaded on here. This has the communications pack. You can see the little connector right there. And that allows us to do an RS-232 connection. So from something like a Raspberry Pi, we can have that running a command script, type in a quick, type in a quick command, there you go. And this guy will listen and follow those commands and show our graphics and stuff. So I would like for like a maxi pack or a maxi ROM that they've made for these that allows you to emulate the tape drive and stuff like that. I've been trying to get a hold of those and they're unavailable, unfortunately. But we'll see what we can figure out. Turned our little side light off so we can see a little better. But if we fire this guy up, you'll see here that the two lights here came on and turned off. That indicates to me that there's maybe a little bit of the digital system might be alive somewhat. And you can see the screen has some stuff on here. The flood guns are working. And earlier, when I turned it on, you could hit the home page and it would clear the screen. So that indicated to me that there was maybe some life left in the digital system, and the video system here is doing what it's supposed to as well. Maybe there's a communication breakdown between the two of them, something like that. It's not unusual for the ROM or the RAM to have trouble in these machines, as is true of almost literally every old machine that runs DIP RAM. There's a huge potential for bad RAM. So let me get this guy on its side, get the cover off, and then we'll see what we find. So the first thing we're going to work on this guy is getting the indicator panel working. The only brake and I/O actually light up on this guy, and I'd like to have power and brake or busy working too, so I can tell what the computer's doing. And you can see here, this back piece here is all silver, and this one's discolored. That's because the bulb has gotten hot there and discolored the backing. So I'm going to get these all replaced. I have replacement incandescents. Thought about swapping this out to LED. Probably going to stick with incandescent. So we'll swap these out and get the lights working again, and then we can tell what the digital side of this thing is doing, and that might help us troubleshoot some progress being made. Okay, so I put new bulbs in here, and I can hit the home page, and it does clear the screen like it's supposed to. You saw the flash there. And if I type something in, like just run or something, for example, and I hit return, if you watch, you can briefly see the busy light light up. So it's trying to do something. So I think the digital part of this system probably works just fine. I'm going to now start probing the video board and see if maybe it's got a voltage that's out of spec or something like that. The power supply is dead on. 12.01 on the 12 volt line, 5 point, I think it was like 1 or 03, something like that. The power supply is in great shape. But I'm going to run through some of the calibration stuff on the video board and we'll see what we get there. Here we are months later. We have this thing working for the most part. I have to type in a program real quick, so I'm going to do that. I don't currently have a tape. I don't currently have any ROMs for this, so if I want to actually have a program run on here, I have to type it out manually. So let me do that real quick. All right. I really hope that the fan in the background isn't too loud here. As you can see here, we have to type in our program. This is a very hard screen to film. We have to film CRTs a lot on this channel, and this is a very difficult one. This text that's been stored in the tube doesn't necessarily, isn't very bright. I mean, it is what it is, right? So I'm going to execute this program. This is just an example program from the Plot 50 graphic programming book. It's basically the first example that it gives you. It's not even into the chaptered part of it yet. So if I type run here, you can see where I accidentally didn't put the right stuff in there and had to retype it. But if I hit run, it's not going to clear the screen because it's not given a command to actually do that. So here we're drawing. There's our sine wave. And yeah, it works. Super thrilled. Takes a while. I think if I was to take out my TI-83 calculator, it might actually do this about as fast as that calculator does. But I can clear the screen here and hit run again. And then we have a mostly clear screen. Now what I should do is modify this program so that the first line on it actually clears the screen, so we don't even have run up here in the corner, but whatever, I already typed it in. And it's not like I can save it because I don't have anywhere to save it. But let's talk about that a minute. A group of people have put together a, I think mostly led by Monty, if I remember his name right, a flash drive software that we can use to load programs on here. And it uses a now obsolete, story of my life with this machine, right? ATmega that's in like an Arduino Nano, kind of like this size of PCB. And that has enough RAM and everything to do what we need. Well, I also have in my collection of crap that I keep around constantly, an Arduino just straight Mega. This guy's been around here for 10 years, from back when I had a RepRap 3D printer and I wanted to make sure I had a backup controller in case I toasted the one that was in it. Yeah, it's been a while, okay? Been 3D printing for like 15 years now. It's insane. But enough of that tangent. Actually, back here you can see the K2 Plus that I have now. The difference in printing between that, my modded Ender 3 Pro, and the RepRap, they've all been huge, huge upgrades on one another. Kind of like cell phones, you know? But I've gone ahead and off-screen built this guy. This is the GPIB connector that connects to the back of the unit. It's wired into the edge connector in the back here, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to be able to use a regular Arduino Shield if I wanted to maybe in the future. I just haven't done that yet because I haven't come up with any cool ideas yet. But here's a micro SD card adapter, and there's your shield. So to hook this guy up, we are going to shut the computer down. We're going to plug into the GPIB port in the back, and then we will plug power in to the 18 mega. It's done. It's installed. It requires no mods on this computer side, and it's good to go. Alright, so our menu is building here. You can see how dark my hand is. That's how dark I have to have it to film this. And you can see on here that there's some stuff that's crossed out. Most stuff is crossed out. And the stuff that's crossed out is because it's not compatible with my 4051 with 32 kilobytes of RAM. Usually there's stuff that just requires different options. So option 30, that's for the 4054. I don't even have that machine, so none of the option 30 stuff will work. R12 is an option I can use on this machine eventually, once I get that figured out. And so the picture menu here is not really working. Almost everything on there requires the R12 option, and I was hoping that maybe some of the stuff would draw just slowly, and none of it wants to, so that doesn't work. Instant art, that one's kind of cool. We'll go into that one in just a moment. Hidden lines, I'll put something up on the screen right now that shows you the end result of that, but that end result takes 45 minutes to get to. Remember, it's an 800 kilohertz machine. There's no floating point processor on here, so it has to calculate part of the 3D curve, and then it has to determine whether the user can see it or not to know whether to actually draw it or keep it hidden, and then it continues on. And yeah, it took a long time. The Michelangelo doesn't load. I'm not sure why. I haven't figured that out. We have a 4050 tutorial and a graphing T1 option. I haven't loaded that one either. Simple benchmark, 4051 checksums, the 4050 calibrate, and a file browser. The file browser will be useful if I get programs that I need to run that just aren't a part of the menu, something I find later on that I think is cool. So let's go ahead and do instant art. This one's actually going to be really cool for meets because it's something that people can quickly and easily interact with, and it produces something on the screen. That's what everyone loves, right? At our meets, it's very common that Oregon Trail is one of the most commonly played games on the machine, which frustrates some because there's a lot more cool games out there, but, you know, is what it is. So, this is loading, and yeah, it takes about 30 seconds to load. Okay, let's do K2's Retro Workshop. Hey, I didn't even need an N for that, and I don't have that keycap. So this draws some cool stuff on the screen. It's very neat. It draws the same thing every time. The table it has is just a modifier for each character length or whatever, and then it draws on the screen. And it's quick enough, and the more advanced your sentence or whatever your string is, the more advanced this goes. So if we just type in K2, it will be a fairly basic drawing, but it is a cool drawing, and it does do it, which I'm super excited about because I picked this thing up almost a year ago, and actually I think it might have been a little more than a year ago now, and it works, so that's pretty awesome. This is one of those programs that doesn't break very easily, or it doesn't break cleanly back to the menu, so I have to manually break out of the program and then load the main menu again. So, fun times there. Okay. This is our games menu. Let me make it brighter for us here. Bunch of interesting games here. Remember, it's a different type of game because this isn't necessarily a... You're not playing Doom on this, let's just say that. Not unless it's text-based Doom, maybe. I don't know. But some of the games look really cool. Some of them do take a while to actually load. But, yeah, there's some cool ones. Adventure, action, cards and dice games, and strategy games. I haven't had a chance to go over all of them as of yet, but plenty of stuff here that can be played and entertainment that can be had. So I'm very excited to spend some quality time with this machine. Still loading. It's a cool looking game, so it's worth the wait, but nothing fast is happening on this machine. Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't actually time it earlier when I pulled it up, so I don't actually know how long this takes to really load, but it looks really cool. The drawing on the screen adds something to it when it comes to this machine. Just seeing it build the image that is stored in the tube is just something else altogether. It is so cool, and I enjoy it quite a bit. So far. There are some accessories and stuff I would kind of like to make for this machine. But yeah, you can see here it's drawing your directions. There's your Starship Enterprise. And so let's just do a long-range scan here. Now, this command here, you kind of need to take a picture of it or write it down or something, because you don't typically get a refresher of that unless you hit I for info, and then it'll pull up the command list again. But then you lose what it was telling you, and yeah, so fun. So let's do a long-range scan, because I think it looks cool, like I said. So there you are. You're doing a long-range scan, and then it fills in what everything is. So, according to our legend here, we have the Enterprise here and some Klingons here. That's all we have. No star bases, no bases, nothing. So we can also hit G here and look at a chart of the known galaxy. More cool drawings, you know? And so if I don't remember what the command is, I have to hit I, and it will tell me what everything is. And we're getting hit by the Klingons, so let's do let's fire 3 torpedoes. I believe the Klingons were to the right of us, so we will do 90 degrees. Oh, we destroyed the battlecruiser. Nice. And it turns out I didn't have to shoot anything else, so we'll just fire in whatever. Torpedo ran out of quadrant. Alright, let's do 270. Cool. Now we're at our command. Let's try a short range scan. We have a little flashing F up here, which means that the computer wants to draw something on the screen, but we've run out of text space. So we have to clear the screen, and then it did it by itself. Cool. So it's just us. Nothing else. Like I said, I don't remember the commands, so I have to go back over here. Should write them down, shouldn't I? 1 quadrant scan, command info. Oh, there we go. Let's move. Move to new course. Let's do 135. Warp factor 5. Enterprise blocked by object. Oh. Let's do a long-range scan and see what that object was. From quadrant 4-7. It's blocked at 2-2. So maybe I need a short-range scan. Oh, yeah, of course. I'm trying to go this way, I can't because there is a star in the way. Genius. Okay, well that's Star Trek. One of the many games available on this thing. This is another one that doesn't break cleanly, so I've got to go in and work on that. See if I can work on that real quick. Get the keyboard cleaned up and mounted in here, get the faceplate mounted on here, and I'll be right back with it. And here she is. Put my little Heathkit clock on top here to give the full 70s vibe. The games on here are pretty fun. They're not super exciting to actually like show you. So I'm going to save you from that. But I've got the front panel here cleaned up, keyboard here cleaned up, still missing the N key here, and the O is a little high because some of the glue that it was used to actually hold that onto the broken key that it had went down in there and I can't get it out. Whatever. So she's working, doing great. In a month I will have this at VCF Southwest and I'll be doing different demos and stuff on it, have games running and things like that. So hopefully, maybe I'll be able to come across the expansion cards that I would like to have for this, or the cartridges I would like to have for this. We'll see. But yeah, there's a benchmark here that you can run, and it tells you about how long it should take for the benchmark to complete, and then it runs the benchmark. You should be timing it during this manually. So these benchmarks aren't nearly as cool to watch as, you know, the graphical type benchmarks that we get on, say, MacBench. Those are really cool. They're actually kind of fun to watch. I'll put a little bit of that up on the screen right here for you. They go through the process of building a PDF type setup, like an article for a magazine, and it's really interesting to watch. It's too fast for you to be able to actually read any of it, but it is interesting watching the process happen on the computer. So yeah, here we are, and I fired this up this morning and she just worked out of the gate. So I still haven't found the actual wire problem between the video board and the motherboard, but hey, you know what? I am not going to complain with what we have here. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if there's anything you'd like to see on this guy. If I can find a set of maxi cartridges for this, I should be able to use the R12 graphics, and I will definitely post a video of it drawing, you know, some cool graphics on the screen and things like that. So any questions, comments, leave them below, and have a wonderful day.